Behind every $1 billion, there are thousands of workers who make it possible. But you probably won't see them in any company's annual report. Hello and welcome to this show where we uncover the stories behind the biggest companies in the world. Today we are looking at the workers who generate billions for their employers, but never see a dime of it themselves. How do they feel about that? Do they resent their employers? Do they feel exploited? And what are the employers doing to ensure that these workers stay happy and productive? Before we start, we want to know what you think. Should companies disclose how much their workers earn and what benefits they receive? If you would like to vote, please go to our website. The CEO of a major corporation is being interviewed by a financial journalist. It is the rare kind of interview where the CEO is not talking about the latest quarterly results or future projections or the overall economy. This time, the CEO is being asked about his personal wealth, his compensation. He has done well over the years. In fact, he is ranked number 82 on Forbes' list of the world's billionaires, with a personal fortune of $8.7 billion. We are pretty sure you already know who this CEO is. It is Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. The year was 2018. Cook was answering questions at an event hosted by Fortune magazine. We don't know what the question was that prompted this response from Cook, but what he said next is worth quoting. If you look at the total amount of money that we have spent on our employees last year, including salaries, benefits, stock, everything, it's over $230 billion. I think if all of us here, and I've looked at the numbers, took what we got paid last year and divided it by how many employees, Apple had last year the average employee, including part-time, probably made more than any other comparable company. Cook was right. Apple's annual report for 2018 shows that the company spent $243.8 billion on its employees, up 16% from the previous year. During that same period, Apple's net profit rose just 10.3%. So clearly the company was spending far more on its staff than was absolutely necessary. What's more, the average salary and benefits paid to each employee was higher than at any other large American company. This is important because Apple is a highly unionized workforce. Nearly 80% of its full-time retail staff are union members. By comparison, only 6% of private sector U.S. workers belong to a union. That means that Apple is paying both high wages and good benefits, and it is reaping the rewards. According to Fortune, Apple's staff turnover rate in the United States is less than half the industry average. A typical tech company loses 13.2% of its workforce each year. But Apple's attrition rate is only 5.9%. This helps the company save millions of dollars on hiring and training new staff. So what does this mean for shareholders? Well, higher profits. Apple's return on assets is among the best in the world, around 25%. This means that for every dollar it invests, it can expect to make 25 cents in profit. That kind of efficiency is rare among large corporations, especially in the technology sector. The second most profitable tech company, Microsoft, has a return on assets of just 16.7%. Apple's secret? Its people. Tim Cook wasn't the first Apple CEO to talk about the importance of investing in its workforce. Steve Jobs understood this long before he returned to Apple in the mid-2000s. He knew that the company's success depended on the creativity and innovation of its staff. He made sure they were well compensated, and they responded with some of the best products ever. The iPhone, iPad, iMac, iPod, MacBook Air, Mac Pro, and the list goes on. Innovation often comes from those who are different from one another. People from different cultures, races, religions, and sexual orientations bring different ideas and perspectives to the table. Diversity makes a company stronger and more competitive. Companies that embrace diversity tend to perform better financially than those that don't. They also attract better talent. A study by McKinsey found that companies in the top quartile for gender diversity on executive teams were 25% more likely to have above-average profitability than companies in the fourth quartile. Companies in the top quartile for ethnic diversity were 33% more likely to have above-average profitability. Apple knows this. In 2015, the company published a supplier responsibility report. It contained a section dedicated to diversity and inclusion. It highlighted Apple's commitment to creating a workplace where everyone feels respected and valued. The report showed that Apple was making progress on this front. For example, the percentage of women in technical roles had increased from 27% in 2014 to 30% in 2015. The percentage of ethnic minorities in these roles had also increased from 37% to 39%. Apple's report was praised by experts in corporate social responsibility. It was seen as a model for other companies to follow. However, since then, progress has stalled. 2017, the percentage of women working in technical roles fell back to 27%. Apple has been criticized for not doing enough to promote diversity and inclusion. Some have accused the company of tokenism, of simply paying lip service to the issue. Apple's diversity report may be a good example of corporate social responsibility, but it has yet to translate into tangible results. Another thing Apple does to motivate its employees is offer attractive benefits. In the United States, all full-time employees are eligible for health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, life insurance, and disability insurance. They also get a pension plan and an employee stock purchase plan. Part-time employees are not eligible for health insurance, but they are eligible for all other benefits. Benefits are a big deal for Apple employees. In fact, they are one of the main reasons why so few people leave the company. According to Glassdoor, the average hourly rate for an Apple employee is $26.35. That's pretty good for a retail job, but it's not the highest in the industry. Best Buy, for example, pays its employees an average of $29.45 per hour. So why do people prefer to work at Apple? Mostly because of the benefits. At Best Buy, employees get a 25% discount on products. At Apple, they get a 75% discount. At Best Buy, employees can participate in a stock purchase plan. At Apple, they get grants of restricted stock units. These are essentially free shares of Apple stock. They vest over time, and they can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Best Buy offers tuition reimbursement. Apple offers to pay for employees to take college courses. Some of Apple's benefits are available to all employees, regardless of where they work. Others are specific to the United States. Example, all U.S. employees get 11 paid holidays. Outside the United States, employees only get 7 paid holidays. But they still get generous amounts of paid vacation and sick leave. In the United States, full-time employees get 15 days of paid vacation, 13 days of paid sick leave, and 2 weeks of paid maternity or paternity leave. Outside the United States, full-time employees get between 20 and 25 days of paid vacation, 5 days of paid sick leave, and up to 6 months of paid parental leave. In recent years, Apple has faced criticism for its working conditions in its retail stores. Employees have complained of being overworked and understaffed. They have also complained of being forced to comply with unrealistic sales targets. In 2015, several hundred Apple employees signed a letter calling for improved working conditions. The letter was organized by a group called Apple Retail Employees for Justice. The letter was addressed to Apple's senior management team, including Tim Cook. It detailed a number of complaints from Apple employees, including being pressured to upsell customers, being forced to work overtime without pay, and being denied breaks. Apple responded by saying it takes the concerns of its employees very seriously. The company said it would investigate the claims made in the letter and take appropriate action. These kinds of complaints are not uncommon in the retail industry. In fact, Apple's record on this issue is actually pretty good. Many other retailers have much worse track records. But it is still a problem for Apple. Its employees are some of the highest paid in the industry. They get great benefits. So what else do they need? Apparently better working conditions. What do you think of Apple's treatment of its employees? Are they being treated fairly? Are they getting paid in benefits that match their contributions to the company? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you like this episode, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more content.